feel like nowadays we're in a culture that prides people on being busy, on cramming as much as possible as we can into each day, and eventually risking burnout. And as someone who tries to adopt a slow living philosophy into their lifestyle, I want to make good use of my time, but I also want to be intentional about how I use it. And the problem is, if our time is filled with stuff that we don't really want to do or doesn't align with our values and the things that are important to us, then how intentionally are we really living our lives? So in this video, I wanted to explore some ideas around how we can maintain a balance between getting things done and savouring the life that we're living. So habit number one is to become more mindful about how you're feeling. Meditation has been really helpful for me personally in doing this, where you tune into what your body's feeling, whether there are any thoughts and feelings that are coming up, any tensions that you're holding in the body. And I know that meditation can put some people off, it can maybe feel a bit difficult, but that has really helped me to develop a habit of just tuning in with how I feel throughout the day. Taking a few moments to stop, notice what my mind is doing, notice how my body is feeling, whether I need to slow down a bit. I think we're so used to doing, keeping busy, keeping going, that we rarely take these breaks to just be and just check in with ourselves. And I think even if we do ignore how our body and our mind are feeling, eventually it will catch up with us if we keep pushing. I know myself that I've pushed myself too much sometimes. I've kept on working when really I should have taken a break. And I think I have been through burnout in my life, and certainly probably been near to burnout several times. But since tuning in to my body and my mind, it's a real good sort of wake up call for me to say, okay, as reluctant as I may be to stop pushing, for me to really just take a step back and take care of myself. The next habit is to identify what you can and can't control. So when we focus or become stressed about things that are outside of our control or influence, we're wasting a lot of mental and emotional energy. A lot of what is going on in the world is much closer to us. It's at our fingertips. We can watch it on social media. We can read it on the online news websites. Whereas before all those things, and I do remember life before those things, we would read about those things in a newspaper. It wouldn't be so accessible. And I'm not saying it's bad to know what's going on in the world, but we're bombarded with so much information, and a lot of it we cannot do anything about it. And so that can lead us to feel helpless, maybe feel guilty that we can't do anything, and I think that can really affect our mental health. So think about the things that you are becoming stressed about. Split those things up into things that you can and can't control. All the things that you can't control, it's probably going to be best to park them, put them aside, and focus on what you can do something about. Because when there are areas of our lives that we can change, that we can influence, ironically we feel much more in control, even if the world outside is just doing its thing and we can't control that. Focusing on our little corner of the world where we can effect change, it can help us feel like we've got some purpose and we're being useful. Another habit is to make time for downtime. So like I've mentioned, I think we're really good at pushing ourselves and keeping on that treadmill, but we're not very good at scheduling in breaks. And I'm bad at this as well. I'm very disciplined, so when I have things to do, I can be really disciplined at getting those things done. But when it comes to being disciplined about taking breaks, that's where I'm not good. And so I need to be very deliberate about taking breaks, because it's so easy to just carry on working, trying to get as much done as I can, and foregoing a break just for the sake of having a bit more time to work on something. But actually, when I have stepped away, when I've gotten away from my desk and gone for a walk, I've come back to what I was doing with a renewed sense of focus. I come back maybe with some new ideas or new ways of approaching things. So try not to see downtime as wasted time. Actually, we all need a bit of downtime, and it can actually help us to come back to what we're doing with a renewed focus. Or maybe it can help us reflect on that we are doing too much and we might need to slow down a bit. I know that probably people don't really want to hear this one, but getting enough sleep is another habit I would encourage. I know that if I don't get enough sleep, I feel really bad. It catches up with me really quickly. And obviously people vary in the amount of sleep that they need or that helps them to feel good. But sleep, it helps us to be able to deal with stress more effectively. It improves our concentration, our attention, and also helps our immune system. So the benefits of sleep, they're probably bigger than what we actually realise. We might get into this cycle of working later and getting up at the same early hour because, again, we just want to cram in more work and get more done. But the thing is, if we cut short our rest and recuperation time, we're probably going to see our work suffer anyway. The next habit I would encourage is to take regular time out to evaluate what you're doing. So are you being productive, or are you just being busy? Are you doing lots of things but not necessarily getting getting much done, if that makes sense. Are the things that you're doing actually the things that you do want to do? Or are there things that you really have no passion for? And I know that there are going to be times in our lives where we do have to do things we don't necessarily want to do. But what I'm talking about here is when we're taking on so much that we don't actually want to do. Maybe we say yes when really we should be saying no to certain things. And we don't actually realise how much we've taken on that we don't want to do until we take a step back and we assess everything that we're doing. This world we live in at the moment is so full on. The attitude seems to be to just keep pushing, keep on going, and to even stop and take a breath is just unheard of. It's not recommended. You just need to keep going. But those little moments where we can stop and breathe are probably the most useful for us if we're trying to slow down, live more intentionally, and fill our lives with the things that we do actually want to do. If you'd like more ways to start your own slow living revolution, then check out the video that's on the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.